right, well, there it is. We are back for another episode, episode 2. Like episode 1, we had Mr. Valdez with us. He's with us again today. Dan, how are you?
Peace. Good. Thank you.
Is that it? Good. Starting to sound like our buddy Jeff. How are you? Fine.
Good.
Yeah, I don't have much to say.
Doing great, Timmy.
Well, as spoke and talked about in our first show, we mentioned a gentleman by the name of Chris Champlin. Are we using last names? I think we can go ahead and throw it out there. Just in case any law enforcement's looking for him, I'll give you his address later. Chris was one of the three, you, me, and him.
He is OG.
He is OG, right?
And take that away. He's OG.
Yeah, so needless to say, we want to talk about that trip because it was kind of a one and done as far as motorcycles go, but I think Chris has always been with us in spirit since that time. And I'm going to try and drag him over to a screen here if I can. Chris, are you there?
Good afternoon, fellas.
Good afternoon, Chris. By the way, where are you chiming in with us today, Chris?
I am in Waddell, Arizona. New residence. Been here since July of last year.
July of last year. He left us, and the good news is he didn't immediately leave us right after the Father's Day trip a long time ago. Chris, do you happen to remember how long ago that was? Your first and only, with us anyway, motorcycle ride. Do you remember how long ago that was?
You know, I think you guys mentioned it on the first episode. Maybe it was, say, 8 years ago. Dan, does that sound about right?
To be honest with you, I think it was 8 years ago. I think we're going on our 8th.
I mean, we've got to have all kinds of stuff that would verify that. But at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. It was when it was. It was a great event. I think we had just as much fun planning the dang thing as we did actually going on it.
I think that's true. You know, excuse me, Chris, you saw the first episode, and we talked a little bit about. We didn't get too much into the planning, but it is worthwhile mentioning because when we first decided to make this trip, remember Dan's the one that kind of pulled our arm on that and said, "Look, the time is now, and we need to make it happen."
Somebody had to show some leadership and
leave it to El Presidente.
Well, and it could have been any one of us. I mean, we were all ready to go, chomping at the bit. We knew exactly what to do, where to go get the bikes, how to do it, and it was just a matter of, well, let's see if the girls are okay with it, which they thought it was a great idea. And what is it that could have gotten into the way of it at that point? Nothing. So the rest is history. It was just a fabulous event.
Yeah, no, I agree, of course. And what's funny is Chris, you actually have been an experienced motorcycle rider leading up to that point, right? If I remember right, you owned your own motorcycle. That's
right. I had an 03, the 100th anniversary Fat Boy.
Oh, Dan Boy.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that.
You had a Fat Boy that did not, just to clarify, did not have a windshield, correct?
No, absolutely not.
Just the open.
And I did take it on a couple, fairly long trips. I never had any issues because I think the farthest that I ever went in one day was I'm going to say Yosemite, right? I never got on the Nevada side, which is going to come up in this conversation. I have a feeling as appropriate. It certainly should. The folks have got to understand why I saw the vision of the Virgin Mary for about an hour and a half straight. So we'll get to that, I would imagine. But
what I want to get to is, Chris, we showed up to rent the bikes, you remember, and you wanted a Road King, which is closely
I wanted a Road King.
Related
nice,
to the
soft,
Fat Boys, right? And
yeah,
they had the windshield on it. They had it installed, and you absolutely demanded,
no interest.
Please remove that windshield. And I said at the time, I'm like, Chris, this isn't just a bar jump, man. We're actually going to ride for a bit. And you were like, not about it. And
no.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Hey,
well, I'll tell you, first of all, the reason why I didn't want the darn thing is because, I'm 5'9.5", and as I sit on that motorcycle and I find my most comfortable position, which we all do, we all know exactly what that is, right? Yeah, it's in between high and low, and so I could never be comfortable because I had rented the Heritage Softail before we started, right before I bought my bike, and I realized that, this doggone thing is just in the middle of I'm either having to sit straight up to see over it, or I'm having to hunch over to see below it. And it's just terrible distraction. But as it turns out, for the ride that we were on, I mean, I just would never do it again. I'll suck it up. I'll just figure out where I need to be to see where I'm going. And you know what I mean? So that what I put myself through was pure hell.
Well, what happened?
What
happened just to get everybody up to speed is, number one, day one was really pretty easy, right? So day one, we leave El Dorado Hills. We head out. I think we went out Salmon Falls Road, actually.
Yeah, we did.
Out through Grass Valley, Nevada City, out into Downeyville, where even in that process, we were going 55, 60 on 49 through that straight section out there. And then we got separated, right?
That's because I was doing 35, 40. You guys are always in such a damn hurry to get to where we're going to end up going anyway. And I'm watching you guys ride, making your turns in the other lane because you can't manage your bike because you have zero experience. And I'm just watching this and I'm thinking, I don't have a satellite phone to call 911. These guys are in big trouble. I'm going to lose one of them or both of them. And I finally just, everybody's got their own ride. When you're on a bike like that and you're going out to see God's country, hey, you know what? Everybody gets to have it their way. It's like Burger King, right? This is my ride. And I just told you guys, you know what? As I'm floating through Grass Valley, I have no idea where the hell I'm going because I don't know where you guys are.
Hey, we exit in Grass Valley. Tim says, hey, we're going to go by his office.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Well,
right?
And that's just it. And we get off the exit. I pull up next to Tim we're on the exit, waiting to make the left to go back over the freeway. And I said, hey, does Chris know that we're exiting here? And he's like, I don't know. Well, as we're sitting there, I look at the freeway. There goes Champlin straight on down the freeway.
Yeah, in third gear.
So we jump back on the freeway looking for him, and we go all the way down to the turnoff that goes to Downeyville, and we can't find him. And so we're like, holy crap. So we turn around and come back. As we're coming back, I look up on my left, and there's like a high shoulder, and I see the head of this guy driving along the shoulder. I'm like, there he goes. So we played Where's Waldo for a while, and then we find him at a gas station, just sitting there smoking a cigarette going, I knew you'd find me eventually.
Yeah, I figured it would eventually work out, right? Well, the bike would know where to go. I didn't need to worry about it. The bike knew what was up and it understood the program. But as you guys were worried about me and wondering where I was the same with you. I don't know if these guys have gone off a cliff. I don't know if Valdez has ended up in the back of an 18-wheeler. I just don't know.
Well, to be clear, there's no cliffs on that section of road.
Valdez would have found one. It would have been a loading dock cliff, something, anything.
But right? We did find our way into Downeyville. And we stopped there for some lunch and to grab a beer.
Oh, I love that. Isn't that place great?
Yeah, you wanted to stay? I thought you were going to set up shop and buy a house.
Tim's like, okay,
it's time to jump off that bridge into that beautiful water. I would have been just totally okay with that.
Tim's all, we got to get going. We got to get to Truckee. Chris is like, wait a minute. Can't we stay and have another beer?
Let's have something. Let's have something extra.
Let's
again,
stay a little while.
Don't make me get back on that motorcycle.
Hey, there's a hotel right here.
Can I digress? Can I go back a little bit? I want to talk about Valdez and the chaps that he bought. The ones that we had to staple onto his legs because they were for a 12-year-old.
Those weren't my chaps. I think I borrowed those from you, didn't I?
No, you're so cheap. You couldn't even go out and buy your own. So you had to borrow chaps that didn't fit. And, here you are the very first time on a man's bike, a real bike, and you're all decked out. You got all the stuff, right? I mean, talk about wild hogs.
He looked the part for sure.
Oh, God, it was just so fake.
I know. Now look at him. I mean,
he's the real deal.
Yeah,
but in the beginning, it wasn't like that.
Hey, you got to fake it till you make it, man.
That's right.
Well, I'm out there in a pair of jeans. I got a flannel on. I got some smoke sitting in my front pocket. I'm just your typical easy boy.
Yeah, dude,
puttering along. Yeah,
we'll get to that.
I'll be there.
When we left Tahoe, it was freezing cold.
Oh yeah, well no, and Mammoth too. Well, we got into South Lake. No, North Shore. North Shore that
North
night.
Shore.
Yeah, but
it was cold, and he has on jeans and a flannel.
Jeans and a flannel.
No gloves.
Jacket.
No jacket.
I had gloves.
Oh, did you? Oh, good.
Yeah.
I just worried about it because I thought you were
I had
freezing.
my dirt bike gloves.
Oh, that's right. Motocross gloves.
Which you hadn't ridden for 20 years. Those
That's
gloves
not
were
true.
brutal. No.
Anyhow, we digress.
But we did get into North Shore that night, and that was awesome because then we just got to hang out and be on the beach and that type of stuff. And then the next day we went from North Lake at Tahoe around and then over to Mammoth.
Yeah.
And
we went by the way of Emerald Bay, and then we got on to 89, right?
Yep. And then over through Markleyville.
Yep.
And out into Bridgeport.
Over Ebbets Pass.
Yeah, where there's actually, in fact, I got to find that. There's actually a great picture of where we stopped there in Bridgeport at the bar. Remember?
Well, I think you're missing this was more of a tour of bars.
We stopped.
This first ride, we stopped at every bar along the way. We stopped in Downeyville. We stopped in Truckee,
Markleyville,
and we did in Truckee. We had that little bar in Truckee there in the main downtown.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right.
Right, yeah. We stopped there, and then we went to North Shore and had a nice steak.
Well, but think about it for a moment. Where else would we have gone if when we stopped? Where else? What? I wasn't there to buy souvenirs.
Chris, it's actually an interesting point, and you asked the question, what else would you do? Well, I have to tell you, since that trip, literally, we
haven't stopped at a bar since.
We've made the trip. It's progressed into this thing that is so packed with miles that you just almost don't have time to really stop too much and still make your destination in the day.
We're dialing it back this year. We're going back to a more of a scenic route.
More like we did our first year with you.
Because we missed that. We missed the fun of, that was half the fun, was stopping and checking out the oldest bar and, wherever it was that we were at. And
that was the part of that. That's the part that I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Is not having to be anywhere at a certain time. Not in a big hurry. No one's going to get hurt. And, for me, that was it, man. Let's get to where this bike is wanting to take us, and let's have ourselves a nice frosty and just just wonder what are the rest of the guys in the world doing right now?
Yeah. No, that's perfect. And then the no windshield thing became a factor that second day on Highway 395.
This was no fun for me.
He got stung by a bee, didn't he?
In Sonora, Jack's, Sonora, coming into Sonora, and I felt like they were filming Game of Thrones on my neck. And of course, these guys, they sting you, they don't die, right? So they were having a field day. And here I am riding, I'm thinking I got a choice. I can deal with it, or I can just fall off of my bike and just start flopping in the street. So I didn't think that would have gone over so well, right? And so I know I've got like 2 or 3 more minutes of having to deal with this before I can back the bike up and put the kickstand down and get off, and then start slapping the neck and find what's going on. And I'm just like going, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It was horrible. It's terrible pain, and I just had to take it, right? Whatever. It was an experience.
Well, it's pretty common to be windy out on 395. In fact, it's been windy more anytime I've been out there than it has not been, right? And sometimes really windy. And that's high desert, for anybody listening that doesn't know. That's in between, well, really, it's Nevada, California, right there at the border, Bridgeport, California, and then headed into Mammoth. June Lakes, which is stunning.
Oh, I like that. That was neat.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
But make no mistake about it, the windshield was sorely missed for that stretch.
Yeah.
I was really struggling. Bill mentioned the other day about not being very fond of the big trucks, the semis, and all this, that, and the other. And of course, we were surrounded by them, and I felt like I was, like God was sneezing on me, right at me, and I was just like, oh, I'm not going to make it. This is rough. I mean, and it looked like we had about 7,500 miles to go before I could get off that road. Because all I could see in front of me was the heat off the street, and I'm thinking, I'm just not going to make it. I'm not going to make it, and I'm looking forward to making it. I mean, I really want to get to where it is that this bike wants to take me, but I don't think it's going to happen. And if I had wings, I would have gotten airborne. I would have finally passed you guys up.
No,
but it was awful.
I don't think it was. No, you could have gone faster. I mean,
but cheers to you, man. You actually did make it. So
hey, he didn't.
Well, he didn't give it up, and we had a conversation. Tim and I did at an intersection, and
on our last day,
and we're like, We don't know if he's going to make it home.
Oh, that was never in doubt. My finishing the journey. No, not even close. It was just like, man, I'm here to try to enjoy myself, and I didn't like that.
Right? No,
it's just like coming out of Yosemite and go through that damn tunnel for a mile. You guys are rapping it, making all kinds of damn noise. I can't see 2 flipping inches in front of my face. It's dark. Here I am, and I'm holding on for dear life. And I've been through this tunnel before, and I didn't like it then either. And all I'm doing is following the 2 little red dots in front of me, and I'm like, that's just not enough.
All right, just for the record,
we
go through this tunnel, and Chris is behind us a bit or whatever. So we get to the other end of the tunnel, and so I pulled over a little bit just to wait for him or whatever.
Right.
Chris came out of this tunnel like he was shot out of a cannon. He was doing 120 miles an hour coming out of this tunnel. When I finally catch up to him and ask him, what's going on? I'm like, where are you going so fast? His response is, I couldn't see. So he goes faster.
I didn't know if I was actually out of the tunnel or if I had just gone into through a black hole.
It was hilarious. I couldn't see. 120 miles. He'd done 35 the whole trip, but coming out of this tunnel, he was 120.
I picked it up.
Yeah, you did.
but I dropped it right back down again as soon as my eyes adjusted to the day. Yeah. And then of course coming out of doggone it, maybe I'm going to say Sonora. We went the back way. I don't know.
Mariposa.
Tim, you'll have to
about Don Pedro going over that bridge.
No. It's Mariposa. We went over to Mariposa. We rode through Yosemite Mariposa, and then we came down through Highway 49.
And you guys are in such a god-awful, you're racing each other in the stupid streets. It's a 1 lane, 2 lanes, right? Oncoming and us. And it's just covered with red sand. And you guys are just scraping your pegs. I'm like, oh no. Okay. I'm just watching you guys. I'm going to have to tell both wives what happened. Because I'm the only one who is sensible enough to see what's going on. Okay. I didn't like that either.
To be clear, it was not covered in red sand. And when we did come across the sand and the gravel, we shut it down.
For a second.
Well, yeah, for a little bit. And actually, what's funny is the 3 of us got on that stretch of 49 together. And when Dan and I
didn't end together.
No, we did not. We were actually concerned because when Dan and I got down, there's probably 10 more cars that came in behind us, and we're like, what?
How'd they get around it?
It's a 1-lane road.
I just pulled the hell over, and I said, hey, man, you guys get on, go, do what you do. Some dude on a crotch rocket gets behind me, and he goes, hey, man, you just take your time. And I go, how'd you know I was having a hard time? He goes, because I could tell. I go, okay. Yeah. So maybe I need to just take my time, and I did, but I didn't like that. There's
what
another
I really love
funny story. I want to talk about what Tim did on the way out of Mammoth.
Hold on, real quick. When we finished coming down that hill, Tim and I were pulled over waiting for Chris, and these cars kept coming by. Well, then he finally comes, and we're like, cool, and we've been sitting there, I don't know, a couple minutes or whatever. And so I'm thinking, okay, he's going to pull up and, have a chat with us. He doesn't even look at us. He just keeps 35 miles an hour
right on going. Yes.
I had it with you guys. You guys were on my list.
That's the funniest damn thing. I said, well, I guess he's not going to stop and talk to us. Off he goes. No,
I'm mad at you guys. I'm done with you. I'll tell you what. Next town we get to, I am not pulling out my wallet. That's just not going to happen.
I told
you guys
Tim,
owe me.
We got to get this guy a beer quick. We got to get
something.
We got to get to a bar fast and get him a beer.
Hey, Dan,
yes,
let's
sir.
talk about coming out of Mammoth. And of course, that's before you guys decided to do any settling down. Tim, of course, is in the lead, and he's just hell bent on getting wherever we got to go, right? He wants to save like that 3 minutes. And so here we are coming out of Mammoth, which is really pretty. If you blink, you'll miss it, right? Well, Tim missed it because he was trying to make his little turns. He's coming down the switchbacks, and he ends up right in front of an RV doing about 40 miles an hour because he can't finish his turn. And I'm behind you guys, and I'm looking, I'm going, I got to call Lisa in a minute.
Yeah.
Tell her that Tim is making out with a Winnebago.
That's actually a small miracle that I did not wad that up because I went all the way across in the incoming lane, darn near off into the opposite shoulder, and then be able to gather it back up right as that RV
and back
was on you.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at this and I'm going, why are you in such a gosh dang hurry? Can't you just make your damn turn like everybody else?
He's going to save that 3 minutes.
Oh my.
That was funny.
Gosh, no,
Hey,
that was.
I held it together. I saved it.
Yeah, you did, but it's really easy for you guys to give me a hard time because, I'm like, I don't know, Archie Bunker out there, taking my damn time and just
I'd be something
floating
more
and
like
going
Mr.
and doing what I
Magoo.
do. You guys are in just such a god awful hurry. I'm just like, man, you missed the whole trip.
Well, to be clear, Dan.
That was just
actually,
Tim trying to keep up with me.
I was going to say Dan has actually slowed down a lot, Chris.
Well, good for
Yeah.
you, Dan.
Yeah.
I
I
have
mean,
not. He's got this thing that he thinks he's faster than me, and he's always behind me. He's so far behind me sometimes I can barely see him in my mirror anymore. And then yet he comes up and says, "Oh, I was pushing you. I just couldn't get around you. You were going so slow." I'm like,
Well,
it's a dream of his to keep up with me, but
Maybe
it's fun.
Maybe I'll put the video in this clip.
So what else did we see? You guys brought up, you kind of set it up real good on the first episode. I think that when we finally rolled on out of Jackson, we knew we were just about an hour away from home, Tim, roughly.
Yeah.
And as we're popping down Latrobe, now we're like 10 minutes away from home, and we're going to this Father's Day barbecue event at your place, Butch's house, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, this is going to be really uneventful, kind of like whatever. We're just going to roll up, and no one's going to be out, just whatever. Well, it wasn't like that,
Not at all.
That was really a cool thing. We rolled up, and it was almost like there was a parade, right? It was our wives and our kids, and they're all looking at us going, "Oh, thank God they lived. Here they are."
Oh, and they had signs made.
Yep.
They had banner signs made, and the kids came out with ice cold Bud Light long necks, and
they were happy to see us. It was like, gosh, man, we're glad you guys are home, man. Let's go in the backyard and hear some stories. Well,
it actually set a pretty high standard. Is what that did. You know what I mean? Like
for the next following years.
Yeah, as far as like what the expectation is,
and that's since dropped off, by the way.
Oh,
we're not even on Father's Day weekend anymore.
No.
I would imagine that it probably would have gotten watered down a little bit. You can't overdo that was a great event. Yeah. And how about when the girls put together all those neat pictures of us?
Oh, yeah.
And framed them.
Yep.
Yeah.
We haven't got one of those in the last few years.
No.
Wow.
And you know why? The why to it is the more and more people that we added, the harder and harder that stuff became to do.
Of course. And that makes sense.
And it was like, okay,
logistics,
who's going to gather the photos, and who's going to do this, and whose house is it going to be at, and what time? If I had one more person ask me what time are we going to be home, I was going to lose my mind because I don't want to talk about that. When we get home, we get home.
Right.
Well, you can certainly give them a window, like a plumber, between 12 and 4.
We'll be
right.
there.
But you can't do any better than that because you just don't really have any idea what's going to happen on the road. What time are you going to be home?
Yeah.
Gosh, it's not that I don't want to give you an answer. I can't. I just can't give you one.
One of the things that we did get to do that in the 8 years, and we've tried numerous times since then, and I think we've only been able to manage it to do it once, is to come back over Tioga Pass.
Yes.
So,
in fact, Chris,
you got to go over Tioga with us. It was absolutely beautiful.
And you are right now, as far as the group that we ride with, you're the only one, along with Dan and I, that have actually been over Tioga Pass. Every year since, it's been closed, and we couldn't get over it.
It was closed.
Is that just from timing, or is it closed for something else?
Closed
like
for
winter?
snow.
Yeah,
snow.
winter.
Okay.
Yeah, but then last year we couldn't get through. It was open, but because of COVID, you had to get a reservation 30 days in advance in order just to enter the park and drive through.
Even though you're not even going into
so
Yosemite
we couldn't
Valley,
even go through then. So this year will be the first year that we can actually all go. Everybody's got reservations. Everybody paid their $30 already. So we're good to go through Tioga, assuming that it's open because we got no snow this year, so it should be open.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Without a problem.
In fact,
it's probably open now. Yeah,
it's probably cleared. Yeah, it's probably open now. Well, gee whiz, that sounds like a great plan that you guys have. How many days is this next adventure going to be?
4.
It's pretty darn close to our very first year, Chris, that we did with you.
We're doing.
That's enough.
Yeah,
4 is enough.
Well, what we're doing is we're going up Highway 4 through Angels Camp and Murphy's, and taking Highway 4 over into Nevada.
Okay, so 4 is going to take you by Strawberry, Pinecrest.
No, that's 108. That's 108.
That's 108.
Sonora
Okay.
Pass. 4 is right out of Angels Camp, Chris.
Understood.
4,
Understood.
Is it Monitor Pass or Ebbett's
Pass? I think it's Ebbett's. Monitor goes over to to 395.
Yeah. So
Where's Carson? Carson Pass, then that's the 108, right?
No, maybe it is
No,
No,
it's Ebbets or Monitor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, 104.
Well, you guys would know.
I mean,
You're looking at it, but
Highway 4 will drop us right into Markleyville.
Yeah, it'll bring us into Markleyville.
Right into Markleyville.
We'll be coming into Markleyville opposite of how you've done it with us, Chris, and we'll be coming in from the south end, going northbound.
Except for when we get to 89 again, instead of going left and going towards Myers, we're going to go right and go back down into the valley and around back into Tahoe.
And we're going to head over to Genoa.
But we're staying 2 nights in Tahoe.
Well, good. Where are you staying?
We're staying at the Beacon.
At the Beacon.
We got little cabins on the beach.
You got Camp Richardson? You got a cabin at Rich?
Got 3 of them. 3
oh
cabins,
my gosh, you guys are gonna have a ball. Let me just tell you, the rum runners, they're $13 a piece now.
Oh my gosh. That does sound like trouble. Can we get those by the pitcher?
You know what? I think you can probably get it any way you want to get it. But yeah, the runners, of course, my brother was there a week ago, and I think he said he had like about 45 one day. I don't know. Obviously, I'm making that up, but he had a ball. Yeah, that place is classic. So you got a cabin. Well, that's great. You're going to enjoy that.
Yeah, we're going to be there for 2 nights, and then and just Friday, we'll just run up, and we're going to go around into Truckee and do some exploring, and then head over to Virginia City and back into the lake. And
that's a great ride. That's one of those rides where you know where you're going. You got 4 days to do it. It only takes 2. So that means you guys have got to make it a point to burn 48 hours just putting your feet in the sand.
Well,
do nothing for a couple hours each day.
This is well earned, because the last couple of trips we've been pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Well, I mean, to the point where, like, one year we did how many miles in a day? Tim, he can't avoid stuff, so he hit a pothole, bent the crap out of his rim coming out of one of the crappiest places that we've ever stayed.
You can't. The Ponderosa was legit, dude.
The Ponderosa was legit.
It's got a great name, right?
We'll save those stories for the episodes down. Anyhow, we had to ride from there into Bakersfield to put on a tire.
Buy a rim.
Buy a rim and a tire, and then ride from there all the way back up to 395. I mean, that was
this was about 450 miles.
400, yeah, in that day. So there wasn't a whole lot of seeing the sights, and so we're going to go back to the OG and just take our time and have some fun and kind of enjoy each other's company. And
I think of that stretch that you guys did that you just mentioned as being back in, not being back because I never was, but being in combat without being issued bullets. What a horrible. Oh my gosh. I volunteer, go back to be a Marine, and put me in the front lines, fat, bald, and old, and I'll take care of these guys.
So I love cranking out the miles, Chris. I'd just as soon crank out miles and just be on my motorcycle. But the majority of the group now, they're not. They don't want to do it.
But you know what, Tim? That's your ride, man. That's just how you want to do it, and then you should be able. But when you're with a group, you got to tone it down. You got to.
Well, that's why I have
manage to the lowest common denominator in order to make sure that everybody gets to where they need to be, and just try to figure out how to have a good time. You get out there a lot. Just if you got to go put 1,000 miles on in one day, you're just not going to have everybody going with you.
He has to do that because it doesn't come out of his garage any other time of the year. So he's got to get all his miles in when he's actually out on it.
There we go.
He sits in the garage and goes brum, brum, on his motor most of the time.
Are you still doing that? Yeah. That's what children do.
That's what he calls a trip on the weekend.
Oh, Timmy.
Yeah.
I thought you get lease on the back of that. You guys go get on the 49 and go have a nice lunch in Jackson or something.
What's that South Park cartoon?
And I still ride all the time. Dan's just pulling your leg.
No, he doesn't.
I've done more miles on accident than he has on purpose.
He's a cast member of South Park. Have you ever seen that cartoon?
I have. That's funny.
Hey, you have heard, his I think we were in Mammoth. And Sandy and I and him and Lisa went up for 4th of July. And some lady walks by and looks at his bike and says, "Oh, my gosh, that's just a pretty, pretty color." And he's like, "Oh, well, thank you." And she's like, "It'd make a great nail polish."
Up to speed on Dan and his motorcycle trials and tribulations that he's currently experiencing. You know, his
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know much about that. I know he bought a bike, I think used, right?
well,
Which is
yeah, but barely. I mean, it had 3,200 miles on it or something. And I'm not
right.
kidding you. All the times that we would ride together, and of course, Dan's right. I am always in the back. It's because I've got 18 cameras fit all over people. Oh,
Fair enough.
right. Anyway, I've been saying the whole time, man, your bike is burning oil. It is burning oil like it. I know his last name's Valdez and all, but it's like the USS Valdez going down the highway. And so sure enough, he was finally able to get Harley to get in and do some actual tests and checks, and the back cylinder's basically dead.
Gone.
50 pounds leaked down
So they're
compared to the front?
rebuilding the whole
Well,
motor.
Yeah, they're
I'm glad
rebuilding
you
a
got
whole
it
motor.
fixed, right?
Well,
Did
it's
they
not
give
fixed
you
No,
a,
no, it's been still in the shop since
Are
April.
you kidding? That's
Chris,
a pain in the butt.
any motorcycle in your future out there in Arizona, Chris?
You know, Sammy and I were talking about that the other day. We both thought that it would be kind of nice to get a motorcycle. I thought maybe I would just buy one and he and I would, you know, like if he wants to take it, he takes it. If I want to take it, I take it, right? But then I kind of said, well, you know, what that will certainly lead to is you know, whoever didn't buy it is going to want to buy one, right?
Right.
So no, we're in the midst of discussing that right now. You know, after selling the Cobra, I thought maybe I'd come by, you know, when I got here and got settled in, I'd buy another hot rod car. I'm just not feeling it, you know? So yeah, you never know. But it's so damn hot here, but it's only so hot. It's miserable 3 months out of the year, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say when I was out there a couple months ago for that Route 66 Bike Week, and I know you haven't gone up there yet, but you got to get up there to northern Arizona on that Route 66. It's unbelievable, and you're up in elevation. So, you know, like Williams, Arizona is like 7,000 feet. You know, right there where you're going to go to the Grand Canyon.
Right.
And then further east from there is Flagstaff, which is even higher. That's more people. I've never been to Flagstaff, but people say it's like Arizona's version of Lake Tahoe, right? Like
It is. Yeah, it is. Well, it is from what I've been told. We've gone as far as Prescott, Arizona.
I was just going to say it's actually been awesome catching up. And I don't know if Dan knows, but Chris reached out to me last week. He's like, dude, this episode was awesome. How come I'm not on there? And I said, we're going to get you on there, you know.
No, I think you screwed up. I mean, you really would have come out of the box a lot stronger had I been in the first one. I'm really feeling kind of confident
about that.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think so. Yeah, you'd have gotten followers from Australia and Iran, and you'd have gotten all kinds of people interested because, you know, it would have been me.
It's like people could be like, look, Archie Bunker's still alive.
Archie Bunker's still alive. And I got Edith.
Yeah,
I got meat,
right.
and I got meathead.
And you got Meathead for sure.
I got meathead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
All right, brother. Well,
right,
we're going to bounce. It sure has been fun, Chris. Thanks for jumping
Yeah, I
on.
hope I didn't spoil it. I hope people will enjoy this episode. And when they see me, they need to know that I weigh only 185 pounds and I'm 42.
I think I'll put a picture up of the three of us at the bar. I think.
Oh gosh, that would be great. I'd like to see that. All right, fellas. Well, look, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate it. You guys have any last questions for me?
No, not at all.
Anything?
Go get a motorcycle.
It's on the table.
Let's ride.
If you guys want to bash me one more time, do you got anything to say that'll?
No,
I mean, this is as good as time as any to just let me have it because, you know, I'm not, my agent said this is a one and done also. I'm not coming back on board. Yeah. My time is valuable. And, you know, you fellas understand that.
Yeah. Just keep checking the mail for your check because.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just keep checking the mail for
keep checking the mail.
Well, that damn Ed McMahon said he was going to. Yeah, all right. I'll keep looking.
Chris, it's been a ton of fun, brother.
Right on.
You, man.
I'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Take care, fellas.
We'll see you, champ.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was entertaining, right?
Gotta love the guy.
Well, it's good to see.
It was awesome to see him.
Chris, again, motorcycle stuff coming up. We've got some good stuff coming up. Mikey Miller Built Cycles.
Is he coming over?
Yep, he wants to come into the studio, and I think I'm going to try and see if I can get him in here next because he has his summer bikini bike wash coming up.
Oh, nice.
At Miller Built Cycles.
Isn't that the weekend we're gone?
It is. We won't be able to go,
but you can at least promote it.
Yeah, and get him in the studio. And then, which is really cool, Murphy's Motorcycle Shop. Roy wants to be on. We'll have to do it like we just did with Chris, right? Like a Zoom call.
That actually works well.
Yeah, that works pretty good. We'll see. Record it and put it in here with the deal. But Roy over at Murphy's Motorcycle Shop, really cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just watching some, I'm like gotten into these documentaries. And I was just watching a thing on Murphy's, and it's amazing all the stuff that happened in Murphy's back in the day. So I'm anxious to
historically, that'd be cool.
Yeah, tap into that a little bit. And then with any luck at all, maybe you'll get a motorcycle back.
We will hope, right? Keep our fingers crossed.
Oh my gosh. Interested to hear if anyone else has had any problems with Milwaukee 8s. I haven't, Jeff hasn't, Roger hasn't per se.
It's just my luck. I always get the lemon.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's the thing. So if anyone listens and you want to put a comment in that you've had an issue with a Milwaukee 8, I would be interested to hear about it. And Dan, I'm sure you would too.
Absolutely.
Just kind of curious as to what the deal is. New decals. We have new decals.
They are awesome.
They are awesome. I don't have any in the studio. I'll put some up on Instagram. Oh, yeah, it's the picture on the screen. Yeah, that is the decal, but it's a really cool decal with the at and Instagram loose
right
map
on the bottom
address.
There's one right there.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll show up on the camera, but it's cool. So we'll be getting those out to anybody and everybody as quickly as we can, just to kind of help promote the page a little bit. Anyway, anything else?
Nope, been fun.
Has been fun. You guys know the deal. Ride safe, but for crying out loud, whatever you do, ride. Just ride.